Hi, my name is Mike Christopher, and I'm going to be taking you through a demonstration of the new Angler Action web portal. For those of you who are already members of the program, this will be an overview of the changes we've implemented this summer. For those of you new to the program, we'll take you through how to register and start logging your catch. The screen you see right now is the login screen for the portal. If you're new to the program, you'll need to select the Register button to build your profile for the portal. When you click the Register button, you'll be presented with a screen that allows you to provide the information needed: your name, your email, a user ID, password, and then some additional information that helps us identify how you're going to be using the system. Phone number lets us contact you if you have any problems with the system. You'll also have the option of setting up an affiliation, either a club or a group that you're a member of, that allows us to track the catch information and also to run fishing derbies and tournaments using the Angler Action system. The Facebook and Twitter ID are optional, but this will allow you to automatically tweet and post your catch information to Facebook whenever you record a trip. You'll need to accept the terms and conditions of the privacy policy and press the button to register. It's easy, only takes a few minutes, and we don't track a great deal of information in the program, and all your information is safe. Your fishing data is only shared with researchers and is not shared with other fishermen, other anglers, or other organizations. And your data is never sold to commercial groups. Let's go back to the home screen. And since I'm already a member, I'll log in. And the page presented is the new dashboard for the Angler Action web portal. You'll see quite a few changes from the original dashboard. You'll see a picture, which is now optional, but you can choose a picture to actually present with your profile. We'll have your name, and we'd like for you to share your home county and your state, and also any affiliation that you have. Since I'm testing the portal right now, my affiliation shows up as internal use only, but this might be any club or fishing organization that you work with on a regular basis. On the very top line of the screen, you'll see a ticker that gives information on all of the catch information that's being recorded in the Angler Action portal. The information includes the fish that are caught, total number of fish that are kept, and the number that are released. Here on the right-hand side, you'll also see a ticker that indicates how many trips you've taken and recorded, the number of fish you've kept, and also the number you've released. The first thing you'll want to do, particularly if you're new to the Angler Action program, or if this is your first time signing into this version of the portal, you'll want to click on the My Account option. This will allow you to provide your preferences for how you want your information presented. For your account information, you'll notice that we have a picture. I have my picture here. You can actually select to choose a picture from your disk, and it will allow you to go to your hard drive and select any picture that you'd like to choose and include in your profile. You'll want to provide your name, again your phone number, and your Facebook and Twitter ID for sharing in social media when you start recording your trips. If you click on the My Preferences tab, this will actually help you navigate the system more easily. You can specify your favorite species. What do you go fishing for the most? Both the species and from there the subspecies. You can also designate if your trips are saltwater or freshwater. These can be changed when you're actually entering the trip information, but this comes up as a default. Also, what's the usual size of the group that you're fishing with? Something new to Angler Action, the original program was developed for tracking information in Florida. We've expanded the program to now be a global program. You can specify your country, and if you're fishing in the United States, all 50 states are now loaded into the system, along with all of the counties in those states. I live in Texas and Tarrant County, so that's what my default is set up on. As I travel to other states and fish, I can change that on a trip-by-trip basis. We'd also like for you to provide a zip code but it is optional. This allows us to track information on where different fishermen are moving around the country to fish. It's purely optional. You can also select your affiliation. These are the different clubs and groups that have fishing clubs and will allow us to actually record that information by group. We'll also use the affiliation to register tournament participation in different fishing derbies, so we can actually keep that information together and actually do judging of contests using the system. You can also set your favorite fishing method, whether it's guided or unguided, and whether you're fishing from a boat or from a shore or dock. For the different tournaments, affiliations, or derbies, you can specify a default division that you usually participate in. Also, if you're on a boat, the boat captain you're usually out with, their phone number, the name of the boat, and a vessel number, all of this can be changed at any time. Now, let's go back to the dashboard. On the dashboard, you'll also see information about your trips, your reports, and your pictures. Your most recent trips are listed in this column. Reports that are available for you are listed in this column, and then all of the pictures you've taken. If you look at the data that you have loaded for your particular profile, let's look at the trips first. You can look at all of your trips, and it will list them out in day sequence with information on what type of trip it was, whether it was salt or fresh water, the number of anglers, your affiliation, and whether it was a guided or unguided, and whether you were fishing from a boat or shore. All of those trips are listed in date sequence, and you have the ability to actually sort and filter that list based on any types of conditions you'd like. You can also download that in PDF format, Excel format, or any other format that best suits your needs. To go back to the dashboard, we just click the dashboard button, and then we can also return to our main screen. If we select fishing locations, it lists all of the places that we've fished that we've logged into Angler Action. We can also show all of our favorite fishing spots on a map. And we have the ability to zoom in and zoom out on that map. And again, if we've registered our trips with all of our favorite locations, it will keep a tally and actually keep a record of all those locations. We return to the dashboard by just clicking on the dashboard. Now, to log a new trip, we take the option to add new trip. A progress indicator is on your left-hand side that tells you what information you've loaded and what information remains to be loaded into the system. You're required to load data for certain fields, and all of those fields are highlighted with an asterisk at the end. You'll need to name the trip, and by default it selects the date. You specify whether it's freshwater or saltwater, the country, state, and county that you're actually fishing from, the date, and today's date will come up as a default, the number of anglers, and we'd like to know the hours that you've spent fishing, your fishing method, and if the affiliation is involved on that trip. Of course, you can select none if you like, and you can also list any comments that you have about the trip. These are notes that you might want to refer to later on, or just to be able to locate that trip. Just interesting things or facts that you'd like to record. This is your personal logbook. The next step is to record your fishing location. You can do this several ways. If you already have used the Angler Action system before and you have loaded your favorites automatically by just saying, yes, this is a favorite, you can actually start keying in a name and it will bring up your favorite fishing spots. For this demo, we'll select Corpus Christi Bay in Texas. The latitude and longitude of that previously recorded spot are already selected. If you ask the system to get my location, it'll use the GPS system on your device, and you can use the Angler Action system from your computer, or you can actually use it from your phone or tablet, and it will use the GPS in that device to verify your location. The other way you can select your location is that you can actually use the map, and if we zoom in or zoom out, we can actually position the pin exactly where we're fishing, and the latitude and longitude will be adjusted accordingly. Your location information is not shared with anyone in the system. It's only used for research, and when you post your trips to social media, Twitter or Facebook, the location information is not given. Only the information about your trip, pictures from your trip, and what you caught. You can also give comments about that location. If there are certain depths you'd like to record or sector or zone information, you can record that. And if you'd like for your pin to be put in the map so you can go back to that location again, just select yes as your favorite. Now we'll record what we caught. The default comes up with the preference that you specified as your target in your profile. Now in this case, we're going to on that, and if I say greater amberjack, that photo is also presented. Now you'll notice here we've also got buttons. These buttons will also allow us, these are the top 5 catches that we've recorded in the system. We can actually press that button, any of these, and that selection will automatically be made. Now for this particular species, we'd want to record how long we actually targeted that species, then the number we caught. We'll say 3, we only kept 1, and we released 2. Now for some states, they require you to record, or actually require you to check to see whether that is under slot, whether how many fish are in slot, or what was over slot. This is based on a state and species basis. So depending on what states you indicated in your trip record, those species that require the slot information, you'll receive these fields. If your state doesn't require the slot information for this particular species that you selected, the slot fields won't appear. In this case, we'll say that there was 1 in slot that we kept, and let's say the other 2 were under slot. Let's select next, and here we can actually record the length and the weight and the condition information of the fish that we caught, that we kept and released, along with recording the catch pictures that we have. Now let's say for the first fish that we caught, now these are the released fish. Let's say one was 10 inches and weighed 7 pounds, and we can put this into the nearest 1/4 inch. And these are made-up numbers, so please don't hold me to this. And then we select the condition of the fish. This is information that's used for research. It's not required, but we'd like to have it. Now, we recorded the first fish. If we've caught lots of fish, we can either record that again, or we can press this button here, which is the copy button. It will take the information from the previous row, and we can adjust these and edit those numbers as we like. And let's say that's 6 pounds. Those are our released fish. Now for our kept fish, we'll say that this one was 20 inches and 16.5 pounds. The information, the other information on the condition, where it was hooked, is not necessary for those that are kept. Now for both of those screens, you saw a little tag here, weigh slip. If you're participating in a tournament or derby, you can enter additional information that can be forwarded to that tournament. By clicking on weigh slip, it will prompt us for additional information, who's reporting, and we can actually report for another angler. By default, my name comes up, but I can replace that with another name. The affiliation that I selected will come up, and the fish length and weight for that fish I selected. These can be overwritten also. Now, if we had chosen a picture, or if we had a picture selected, we could actually add that picture, or we can go ahead and add it to the weigh slip now. We can also specify the division, the boat information, the captain, vessel name and number, along with the witnesses, and record tackle type and any other comments that are required. We have the option to submit that weigh slip now, yes or no. If we say no, we can still create the weigh slip, and we have the ability to go back and update it later on. In this case, I need to provide a witness. So we'll say our witness was John Smith, and his phone number was 111-222-9999. We'll say adult male is our division, and for let's see if that's all we need. And our weigh slip has been created. This is what our weigh slip looks like. If we had loaded a picture, it would be loaded here. We have the option to print it and also the option to email it. Right now, we're just going to go back to the catch page, and I'll show you on that page for the fish that we actually selected for the weigh slip. The tag is highlighted in orange, which means that we've added the weigh slip, but we haven't submitted it yet. That means we can still go back and edit the weigh slip. Once we submit, it turns to green and we no longer have the ability to edit that trip. Edit that weigh slip. Let's go ahead and submit this catch record. And it takes us back to the catch summary. And we can add a new fish, or we can actually add a new location. Let's add one more location. And we're going to say just outside of Port Aransas. And we'll go ahead next. And one more fish quickly. I'll tell you what, we'll enter greater amberjack. We'll select that from the quick list here. And we'll say that we caught one, we released it, and it was under slot. We'll go back to the catch screen where we can actually enter the information, the released information. Also, this information is not required. We can actually just go ahead and submit the record, and we have the choice of entering that information later on if we like. Now, for our trip, you can see we fished in these two locations, and I'm going to move that map just a little bit. But you can see our 2 points where we fished and what we caught at each of those locations. We've got the name of those spots and the latitude and longitude. We can also add any pictures that we want if we'd like, or add the location. If we want to share this on social media, we can click on the preview share button. And this is the page that's actually sent. If we had included any pictures, they would be here. And we'd actually have a header picture here. And we have the option to send this to Twitter, to post it on Facebook by clicking on the like button, or sending it via email. If we click on the tweet button, this is what the your tweet will look like. It'll be information about your trip, and then also a URL that takes the user to this page. If we post to Facebook, we'll have that same URL. This is my Facebook account, and I can add any comments, and this will also post a URL to this page. If we'd like to send an email, click on Send. And we can put in as many email addresses as we like, our message, and again the URL that actually takes them to this page. And these will immediately show up in those social media accounts. If we're done, we click done, we get a thank you screen, and we can go back to our dashboard. Now, for those trips that you've already put in, you can actually see those trips. You can click on it to show all your most recent trips will show up on that list, or you can actually bring up the list of all the trips and it will show you all of those trips. This particular trip, I actually loaded pictures. Let's click on that one. We can select it. And it brings up the pictures along with the location I was fishing, what I caught, and for each line, this shows how many pictures I have loaded for that particular species that I caught. We have the option of going directly to the length and weight and weigh slip information. We can edit this catch record, or we can delete the catch record. And I tell you what, let's look at the share summary since we have pictures loaded on this one. This is what that page will look like. This is what our friends will see when they actually see the tweet that we send, or when we post to Facebook. You'll notice all of the catch information, slot information if it's applicable, and you'll notice these where there's zeros, slots aren't applicable for these species, for the state that I was in, and the quantities caught, kept, and released, along with the pictures. And you'll note there's no location information provided. Now, additional buttons we can see, we have the reports. We can actually pull up reports for what we caught, our trips, our locations, what we kept, released, all of our weigh slips. For the catch report, we can actually pull up information on all the different species that we caught. And this will take us, if we click on these, it'll take us directly to the trip. We can actually filter this report. And in case we only want to see, say, a particular species, let's say I only want to see the snook that I caught, I can go ahead set my filter to equal those categories, apply it, and I'll get a listing of all of the common snook that I've caught in the trips that I've posted. Let's go back to our dashboard. And again, we can do the same filtering for trips, locations, what we've caught, what we kept, released, and the weigh slips that we've entered. In the What's New section, it'll actually display the changes that we've done and what we've actually, the new features and functions that are available in the Angler Action program. And we also have a Get Involved button that will allow you to see the report clubs, the social pages, and of course an invitation to join the Angler Action program and their sponsoring organization, the Snook and Game Fish Foundation. One of the new things that's been added to the Angler Action program, you see this little badge here, that 10. These are the trip clubs, and you'll get a new badge based on different categories and based on the amount of trips that you actually log into the system. If you want to see all the clubs, you can click there, or under the Get Involved button, there's a trip club. The trip club actually will list out all of the anglers that have listed over a certain number of trips. This is the 10 club, so everyone over 10 for a 25. For 50, and let's look at 100. And you'll notice that list is getting shorter and shorter. 150, and so far we don't have anyone in the 250 club, but it's just a matter of time. And of course I don't want to leave out this button here. The Angler Action program is provided as a nonprofit program, a private logbook where the data is used for fisheries management and research. It's not a commercial program, and it runs due to the generosity of a lot of people. Clicking this button gives you an opportunity to donate to the program to make sure that it's available to everyone. I hope you enjoyed this tour. Please, if you have any questions, select the Contact Us button below, and we'll get back to you right away.